One of my other videos that seemed to be getting a little bit of play, not much, right? But is when we seem to talk about the socialism aspect of what we're looking at today. Now, a lot of my socialist friends, every time I turn around, they're trying to tell me we're already a socialist country because we have Medicare, Social Security, we have fire departments and police stations. This, for me, is not a very good argument. I understand we have a government that is required, and I think that we should keep our government's interference to a minimum. There are things that the government can handle better than what we can. Foreign affairs, you don't want 50 states trying to make foreign agreements with foreign countries. That would be a total mess. So, yes, our government needs to deal with the foreign countries, the federal government. National defense. Okay, yeah, we need a national defense system and army to provide a national defense. We still have the states with their national guard, but for the nation and the global aspect of it, we do need a federal government running that defense department. Infrastructure. Federal government needs to make sure that trade is accessible between all the states, no doubt. Now, this is where I like to try and put the brakes on the federal government, because when they start going past this point here is when we start getting an awful lot of interference in our lives. Now, when it comes to Social Security, it's a little bit difficult for me to look at that as a socialist program, as they want to call it, seeing how it is a mandatory tax for our retirement, and it has kind of been changed, just like like Medicare is to a government program. Shouldn't be that way. In my opinion, Social Security would be simply solved by converting it to a private sector. Go ahead and have the government mandate the 15% to come out of your check for all your life. Most of you don't realize it's 15%. You think, oh, well, I'm only paying about 6 or 7. No, you're paying around 15% because you pay half and your employer pays the other half. Go into business for yourself and find how much Social Security you pay. It'll be 15%. So 15% of your income for your whole life is taken out by the government to return to you in the form of Social Security when you reach age 65 or 62 if you retire early. This plan could be easily privatized. Instead of giving the government control over your money, at least you have access to decide where you want to place that money. You could leave it in, if you wanted to leave it with the government and let the government manage your money, fine, if that's your choice. Or you could invest it in the stock market, okay? And you would do much better in the stock market than you would leaving it with the government, but that would be your choice. But you would have the option, and you'd also have control over your money. It would be your money, not the government's. That's what they don't like about it. If you died, it wouldn't automatically go to the government like your Social Security does. It would go to your family. It would be an inheritance. So it would be a good deal. Kind of a combination of personal responsibility and government socialism, making sure you take care of yourself. Medicare and Medicaid are the two programs that, even as a free market, and I don't really consider this a quote quote socialist program or government health care to the degree that one payer, everybody is on one system of welfare, Medicaid or Medicare for all. No, the Medicare is for your senior citizens. Of course, that's a difficult time to be covered medically by a regular insurance company. Premiums would have to be extremely high. It is a program I would not mind funding to help the elderly, make sure they acquire medical care. You have Medicaid to help the people that are financially distressed, that are having issues getting their things taken care of, people with disabilities, things like this, not an issue. Now, the group in the middle that are capable should have the ability to choose their own, to shop, pick their best rates, make it there's no competition in the medical system. You have the third-party payer system, which is what started this whole mess, and now we want to go to a single payer, third-party payer system where you have a consumer buying from the producer, being paid by a third party. That's an issue. Consumers should pay for their own services. This creates responsibility. If you have to pay for your services, you're going to shop. You're going to look for the best deal at the best price. That will drive prices down. But when you screw with that system and throw in a bunch of government regulations and third-party payer, the system just gets all distorted, and it won't be any better when you go to a government single payer, because then the government you trust so much to take care of you, to make sure to the government that you place your life in their hands, is now going to be in control of your health care. And when they're in control of your health care, they're in control of you. Politicians like that. They like having a hook in you. And that's exactly what the single payer will do. It will put a hook into you. You'll never go back. Once you get on the single payer in the government system, that's it for life, folks. The government will run your health care, period, and you will have to do it their way. And you won't be able to change. If you don't like that insurance company and the government's giving you, you won't be able to go to another health insurance agency. You're stuck with the government, unless you're very, very rich and can afford to go outside the government health care, but that's a very small number of the people. So bottom line, you have to resist the socialism, because socialism simply brings the government in to control too many aspects of your life. It's called a loss of freedom. And yes, with freedom comes some pain. But that's a part of the price of freedom. We'll have more later.